Want to learn 5 actionable steps to getting your investor website ranked on the first page of Google? Watch this video. Welcome back to our channel where we talk all things marketing and tech for real estate investors, and be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell to be notified every single time we create a new video. I'm Lee with REI Blackbook, and we help thousands of investors automate and scale their businesses using our software. And one of the ways that we love serving investors like you is through our REI boot camps. These are live 2-day workshops that take you from chaos to clarity and teach you how to predictably grow your real estate investing business. We bring in expert trainers from all walks of the real estate investing industry. And today I want to share a clip with you from one of our last bootcamp events with Dan Barrett of AdWords Nerds. They are the largest Google partner agency dedicated entirely to real estate investors, and they specialize in helping investors like you generate motivated seller leads. Google has ranked them in the top 95% of all ad agencies, and they manage over $5 million a year of ad spend working with hundreds of investors, big and small. In addition to the work they do with pay-per-click, they have over 10 years of experience with SEO, helping investors get their websites to rank on the #1 page of Google search results. And in this clip, Dan is going to give you 5 steps to building powerful links back to your website. So why would you want links back to your website? Well, there's a direct correlation between the number of links your website has back to it and the amount of traffic that you get from Google. In fact, 92% of all websites in the top 50 search results for anything you could possibly search for have at least one link back to them. Now, before I hand you over to Dan, I just want to ask you one quick question. Have you done any work around building links back to your website, and what have been some of your biggest challenges? Let us know in the comments below. Now, in this clip, Dan is going to take you through 5 steps from the most basic and foundational link building strategies, which everybody's doing, and therefore you really should be doing too, on up through more sophisticated link building strategies that are much harder to replicate. And I'll give you a clue. It's the things that are much harder for your competition to replicate that are going to make a bigger and more lasting impact for the SEO of your real estate investor website. Let's go ahead and dive in.
Let's start with step 1. This is literally how I would suggest that you start. If you are starting from scratch, you've never built links to your REI Blackbook website before, this is how you start. They are called foundational links. Now, these are not links that people are unwilling or unable to get. These are the easy ones. But that's okay, because everyone else has the easy ones. So we kind of need to get the easy ones just to play ball, right? I always say, like, this is what we pay to get into the club, right? It's the cover. The cover charge is, hey, we got to get the easy stuff. What is the easy stuff? For example, if you have social media profiles, making sure that those social media profiles link to your website. If you have other sites that you control, some of you, for example, will have a seller site on REI Blackbook, and then you'll also have a site for buyers at a different domain name. Well, hey, if you've got 2 websites, link them together. Link them together. This shockingly high number of people do not do this. If you've got a website for a different business, link it. If your cousin has a business, right? Your wife or your husband has a website for their craft business or anything like that. Any website you can get access to that you might have some control over, build a link there. These are the really simple things that make a big difference that actually very few people think to do. They either don't want to ask, they feel awkward, they don't think it matters. It matters. It matters. Now, things like message boards or forums. BiggerPockets is one. There's a bunch of them. I link to them on the doc. Now, these are okay to get. You want to be a little bit careful with these. You don't want to, for example, have like 1 million links from BiggerPockets because you have a bunch of different profiles or anything like that. But if you are active on a message board and you have a profile there, throw a link to your website in there. You might as well. So put in this category anything where it's like, I had the profile already, I might as well put a link there, or I have access to this website either through my own business or through a different website that I own or through someone I know, I might as well reach out and just get a link there. Very important to do. Easy to get, but important to do. Now let's talk about authority links. Let's say you build those, you did step 1, the foundational stuff, you feel like you're pretty good. Next thing we want is authority links. Authority links are primarily about indicating legitimacy. If you think about what Google is trying to do, What is Google's goal? Google's goal is to get people to use Google. That's Google's priority. And people will stop using Google if they click on a website and they get a virus, or they got scammed for $1 million, or it's never the right kind of website. Google's got to be accurate and it's got to be safe. That's how they get people to use Google. So a big part of what Google is trying to do is just figure out, are you a scam? Are you a spammer? Are you trying to steal these people's money? Are you legitimate? That's what they're trying to figure out. So authority links indicate to Google that we are legitimate. Better Business Bureau. I am not a particularly huge fan of the Better Business Bureau. I don't think their actual service is particularly great. Your mileage may vary, whatever. But it's good for indicating authority because very few spammers and scammers are on the Better Business Bureau. So yeah, I'm going to go and get a link. Now, I will say Better Business Bureau, if you sign up for this, it's a paid thing. You sign up for it, you want to go and double check that your page for your business actually has a link. I have run into instances where clients have done this and the link is not included. You want to reach out to them if that is the case and be like, hey, give me the link. I know it's great. I get the badge. Give me the link. You want the link. Chamber of Commerce, really good for this. If you have a local Chamber of Commerce, reach out, ask if there's a directory, ask if you can get linked there, join it. Again, very few fraudsters bother to join the Chamber of Commerce. Local RIAs are quite good for this. Real estate trade groups are really great for this. If you have a local RIA, maybe sponsor it, maybe start one and run it yourself, offer to run a presentation, whatever you can do to get a link from there. Those are highly relevant, right? They are relevant to what you do. If you have a particular professional license or certification that has a trade group or a trade association attached to it, reach out and see if they have links. There are actually many universities with alumnus associations or alumni associations that will link to your business. You won't know unless you ask. And finally, professional associations, I don't know if you're like a Freemason or whatever, Bricklayers Guild or whatever you are, anything that you are a part of, a professional group, get a link there. Something that very few people do, but that I would probably do if I had to make my money investing in houses starting now, and I could only use SEO, something I would probably do, I would start a real estate investors organization in my market. And I would be the head of it, because then I could always say I'm the head of this thing. And I would make a website, I would have a separate website for that organization, and I would link to myself. That's just me. It's a lot of work. Again, what are the things people kind of aren't willing to do? So these are authority links, very important. Like I said, on the doc, I've got all sorts of links for you. Now let's talk about local sources. We have these foundational links in step one, which are like, hey, these are the easy ones, the basic ones. Then we had authority links, which are primarily about, hey, I am a legitimate business. I am not, a prince in some far off country that needs to put money in your bank account, right? I'm legitimate. Now we're talking about local sources. Local sources are important because you have a geographically oriented business. Investors generally don't want to invest anywhere. Some people do, but most investors have an area in which they want to invest. So for Google to understand that, we have to do what's called geo-targeting. We have to have links to us and information on the website that indicates the area in which we are investing. All right. So we want links that are primarily local inside our target markets. A good way to do this is to sponsor local events or venues. So if you have like I grew up in Glastonbury, Connecticut, which is kind of like, pretty nice. When I was growing up there, it was pretty rural. And Glastonbury for decades and decades, the biggest thing that happens in Glastonbury is the Apple Fest, the Glastonbury Apple Fest. And the Apple Fest is like the carnies come to town and the carnival stuff is there. But then local people bake pies and, PTO is there and all that stuff. And so Sponsoring the Apple Fest is a fantastic thing to do if you are investing in a place like Glastonbury, Connecticut, because they link to you from the town website. Really, really important, right? Nonprofit events, really, really awesome to do. Sponsor your local 5K. A lot of times athletic venues, if you've got like, sometimes I'll have like a soccer place, like an indoor soccer place or whatever. A lot of times you can sponsor the venue for the entire season and they'll link to you from the website. So this is more about content creation. Something, again, I was thinking like, what would I do if I had to do this tomorrow? Something I would do, and something we'll sometimes do for clients, is local business roundups or spotlights. This is a recurring type of content you create. I will tell you exactly what I would do. And to my knowledge, no one has ever done this. This is $1 million idea. You need to steal this idea, okay? I like going out to restaurants. What I would do is I would make a list of all the awesome restaurants in my target market, and I would make a recurring sort of little YouTube thing where I go in my real estate investing shirt, like Sell Me Your House shirt or whatever, and I go and I review the restaurant. I make a really nice video. I interview the owner, and then I put the whole blog post online and I link to them. And the reason that I'm doing that is that, one, Google's seeing me link to local sources, but I will guarantee you there's no local business that's going to be like, oh, you're making a sick video about my business? Yeah, I'll link to you for that. They're going to give me a link back. They're going to share that on their social media. That's something I could do every week if I wanted to. No one does stuff like that. Again, what are people unwilling or unable to do? That is a significant advantage. Doesn't just have to be restaurants. I like food, but you could do local business spotlights, right? Hey, every week I interview a different local business. Doesn't have to be real estate. Could be any local business. Really, really important to do. Get those links from local sources. Sponsoring a Little League baseball team is a classic example of this. All right, let's talk about directory links. Now, these are another kind that, like, I put these later in the process because I don't really care a whole ton about these. They're relatively easy to acquire, but they are specific if you do it right. Here's what I mean. They are real estate investing specific. So if you've got like blog directories that list places and you are frequently blogging, you might as well get that content listed on a blog directory, right? There's a variety of them. I link to a whole bunch of them. Local business directories, right? If there's like, I live in West Hartford, Connecticut. There's like a West Hartford, Connecticut business website. I'm going to get listed there, right? Or if there's a real estate directory, I'm going to get listed there. If there's like a Connecticut business directory, I'm going to get listed there. There are websites like, so ratemyrei.com. I'll show you, this is a good example. Now, full disclosure, a past employee of mine actually built this website. I have no financial stake in it. I don't make any money from this website at all. You can list for free. There is a paid plan, I think, but whatever. But the reason I'm pointing this out is because we actually built this because it's hard to find industry-specific listing sites. If you can find an industry-specific listing site, grab a listing there. They are important because they are relevant. So Rate My REI was also always supposed to be about, like, it was a place you could get reviews, place you could get, hey, these are all ethical real estate investors. This is Jeremiah, someone who worked for me, built this. It's great. We use it for our clients. I pay to use it for clients. It's a way to build a link, and it's relatively easy. Like I said, I don't make anything from doing that. I don't have any relationship with that website anymore, but it's a good example of an industry-specific directory. Okay. Again, directory is easy to get. If you want to get it, fine. Let's talk about the big one, the king, the absolute king, which is earned media. The thing that I want more than anything, the thing I spend all my time thinking about, earned media. Earned media is a legitimate link from a big media source, news source, even another blog. Someone reaching out to link to you because you're awesome. You earned it, not because you asked for it, because you earned it. That's earned media. I'm going to break down a bunch of different ways to do this. One of my favorite ways, very few investors do this. I highly recommend it. Podcasts. Either be on them or make your own. Podcasts are amazing. They build lots and lots of links every time you're on them because it gets syndicated across the internet. People love podcasts. People who hear you on podcasts will be more likely to sell to you because they feel like they know you. It's a very intimate experience. And if you make your own podcast, not only is it a way of creating recurring content on your website that's good for SEO, but you can reach out to influential people in your market to build relationships, interview them, and then they will link to you to share the episodes that they're on. The secret of a podcast. I have a podcast. I've had many people on it, right? And Damon was on it. One of the reasons that people love podcasts is that everybody loves to be interviewed. Who doesn't love that? It's good for the ego. You feel good. You get to answer questions. You get to explain yourself. You get to talk about what you do. People love it. And if you invite, let's say, the mayor or whoever onto your podcast, they're going to share it out. They're going to promote it because it makes them look good. Really, really amazing strategy. Helperreporter.com. Here's another big one. We do a lot of this for clients. It takes work. Link quality is very high. Here's what's going to happen. You sign up as a source for journalists on helperreporter.com. Every day they send out 3 emails, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, one in the evening, that has different people that are looking for sources for different variety of things. It's all sorts of stuff, not just real estate. What you're going to do is look for the things that you think you can weigh in on, respond as quickly as possible with a quote or whatever they need. And then if they use you as a source in their story, much of the time they will give you a link back. I have a client who's been doing this religiously for like 3 or 4 months. He has built amazing links from places like Forbes and all sorts of really high quality news outlets, blogs, all this stuff. It's basically his only link building strategy, and he is killing it. He's making a lot of progress. So this is something that it takes time, it takes a little effort, it takes a little discipline, but the quality is unbeatable. And this is the way that you get in places like that you would never expect. Like, so for example, like Forbes, or you get onto, all sorts of cool stuff, blogs that you didn't even know about that will give you really high quality links. Here's the one that very few people think about: testimonials or case studies. If you have software, like for example, I don't know if REI Black Book does it, but you use some kind of other piece of software for your business or just for anything, right? Like you've got an app on your phone that you really like. Reach out to that company and say, hey, I would love to give you a testimonial or a case study. Break down how you use their tool in your business. Almost always, they are going to jump at the opportunity to list your little testimonial on the website and give a little link to the business. We've done this with several different things. There's a company called ClickCease. So ClickCease is a software we were using to stop fraud on a couple different clients. They feature us prominently on their homepage with a link to AdWords Nerds, and it's one of our better links, because it's highly relevant, it's highly authoritative. So you can do this systematically. Every time you have a piece of software or an app or something that you use and you like, think about how can we use this as a case study for them? Again, you're providing value to them, and they're almost always going to link back to you. Event recaps are really good. When you're at an event like this one, think about taking your notes and your major kind of takeaways, turn it into a piece of content, and then reach out to someone like Josh or like Damon and be like, hey, I wrote this thing. And it's all about breaking down how amazing the event was and all the things I learned from it. Many, many companies, people that put on events would love to link to things like this because it's free promotion for them, and you are generating a highly targeted link in return. Not to mention just providing value to people that do what you do. Local news is a big one. I love local news. I usually say the localer, the better, which I don't even know if that makes sense. But local news is starving for stories. If you've got like a really local paper, like we have like the West Hartford something or other, right? And the story is like, local kid lifts pumpkin or whatever. It's like they're always just dying for something. You got to put something in print. Make something newsworthy happen. Sponsor that nonprofit that I was talking about very early on, right? Promote your podcast, promote your thing. Make it a news story. Think about what they would actually want to write about. It can't be like local investor buys houses. They know that's promotion. But think about what you can do in your community and then reach out to a local news source. These links are gold. Google loves local news sources. It's highly relevant, highly authoritative, and it has geo-targeting, and it's hard to do. These are some of the best links to get, and they are actually far easier to get than you think. I put in that doc that I gave you an article about Richard Branson. Richard Branson's a perfect example of someone who uses media extremely well. Press releases, sort of similar. A lot of people use press releases for SEO. Do not do that. It doesn't work. It's a waste of time. But if you are doing something newsworthy, something that really makes a difference, something that's important, and you put a press release out, you will get legitimate stories and news written about you.
Okay, so there are a couple of key things that I want you to remember here. The very best competitive advantage that you can get in SEO in your market is going to come from things that are hard to do, that you are willing to do, that your competition is not willing or not able to do. And remember, like Dan said, there are tons of things that you can do that will give you that competitive edge. You have lots of options that you can choose from, and almost every single one of them is going to hinge on what kind of value you can provide for people. All right, guys, once again, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell to be notified so you never miss a video when we put one out. Really quick before we go, I want to know which of those 5 steps Dan talked about are you most excited about in terms of what you are going to go and take action on. Let us know in the comments below. Once again, my name is Lee here with REI Black Book. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.